Salt Lake City, Utah for the Race for 8, brought to you by Simple Green. Scoreboard powered by Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC, and scoreboard of the WPH. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Anthony Celesto for this match here featuring Dave Fink and Emmett Peixoto. There will be 3 games, Anthony. Best 2 out of 3 to 25, rally scoring, win by 2. And our referee is making that announcement now, Nate Alvarado.
Featuring Emmett Peixoto from Boston, Massachusetts. Serving Dave Fink from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
And there's that announcement from Nate Alvarado Jr.
Serving 0.
Score is 0-0.
Short.
Nate Alvarado, who is ranked number 2, Anthony, in the Race for 8 point totals as well as the power rankings, is actually making a reffing appearance here today.
Point.
Taking Abe's spot, correct?
1 serve 0.
You heard the score right there, 1-0.
Hold it. Can't hear me. This.
Having some technical problems.
Yeah, actually, it's not really a technical problem. They just didn't have the referee's mic turned on
right
here in the facility. And that was actually a screen call, and that's why they're replaying this. Dave Fink from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Emmett Peixoto from Boston, Massachusetts, probably more known from Watsonville, California, where he was the #1 player in the world. And Nate Alvarado calling a point on that mishit from Emmett on the left wall. That wall on the left is pretty brutal.
Difficult. You see there.
That's where Fink says that he has most of his trouble, because you're actually looking back at the sidewall as the shadow, and it plays tricks. You see about 6 balls back there in that left corner. And there's another point for Dave Fink.
Very aggressive off the start, Dave.
This is rally scoring today, which means every single point counts in the top 12. So in other words, Emmett Peixoto gets a point for that side out right there. So he gets another one on the board. Score is 2-3. Peixoto serving in the black.
Watching Emmett yesterday, I saw he served a lot of short serves, and I don't know if it's because of the shoulder surgery that he had or what, but he's definitely not on top of his serve in these last couple of days. Ooh.
Emmett Peixoto represents the Salt Lake City Aces. There are 4 teams: the Seattle Whack team, the Tucson Gunslingers, Salt Lake City Aces, and the Idaho Spuds, owned by Jake Plummer.
Second serve.
Dave Fink represents the Seattle Whack, and Emmett Peixoto is on the Salt Lake City Aces. A lot of people courtside, Anthony, that predicted some fireworks here between these two. They've been friends for many years, at least 10 years. They've toured together, they've roomed together on the road.
Great serve.
They both joke around, sometimes going over the top both ways. You know, these guys know each other too much, I think, and I think there's a lot of sometimes friendly animosity between the two.
Absolutely.
Look at that amazing get from Emmett Peixoto right there, keeping that rally going. Dave Fink up 5-2, and now we're replaying it. This is the round of 12, I call it. It's really the round of 16. We play the round of 16s and the quarterfinals both today, and you're going to catch them all live right here on the broadcast.
Replay.
A lot of replays here early on.
They know each other's games, so they're playing that close-knit aspect.
5-2.
I was talking to Dave yesterday, and he was saying that he needs to get out hot right away and get a big jump on Emmett, because Emmett's a slow starter. So, as we see here, 6-2, Fink. It's a tough shot, Dave.
7, serving 2. Hold it, hold it.
Very questionable. I don't think they kept playing.
Called.
Very questionable call there. Letting him play,
Replay.
possibility,
7-2.
but called a hinder.
Dave Fink on an early lead here, but with rally scoring, Emmett could get a side out, get a couple nice serves, and be right back in this. And that's one of the pluses of rally scoring. And Dave Fink goes dead center, 1 inch high. Nice shot right there from
Mr.
the
Fink.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania handballer. Soon to be father, actually. Wife Trish is back home watching. That's going to be another point for Dave Fink. Emmett way late getting out of the gate on that. I mean, you can say anything you want about his right arm, but Emmett is a get artist, and those are the type of shots that he's been able to track down. Dave did take some pace off of it, though. You see Dave now picking on Emmett's right shoulder.
Side out.
Surprised Dave didn't scuffle right there.
2, serving 9.
I think he's trying to stay within himself.
Oh, sorry. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Thank you. Little old school. 3, serves 9.
Nadi Alvarado's a veteran. He called that a fairly quick, and Dave Fink was not ready, and he said a little old school. Now you can see Emmett's taking charge here. Ooh.
Side out.
And there he is wincing with that right shoulder.
Yep.
10, serving
Actually looked
3.
like he was a little off balance, but still, it's a tough shot when you're pressured like that.
Dave Fink's very aggressive right now.
Rightfully so.
4, serving 10.
This is game number 1.
Referring back to what you said earlier about how they're such good friends and how they play each other, I know Dave and Emmett, I went out to dinner with them the other day, and they were talking how Emmett would go over there, go to Pittsburgh and train with Dave and vice versa. So
Hold it.
ooh, very close. So there you go. Another close call. They know each other's game so well that we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that was a replay.
I agree with you. Although I might have called that yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. But they're not complaining in here, which is a plus. Some fans actually come to watch the complaining. So you get all types. Some people said that the games that you refed yesterday were the most entertaining, Anthony, because of all those missed calls that you made.
I try to make things entertaining, though. You know, at the
You're an entertainer.
yeah, for the most part, I try.
5, serving 10.
5 to 10. Emmett now back into the box, going to Dave Fink's right shoulder. Dave steps in with the left. Emmett does the same.
That very close.
Hold it, hold it.
That
I
should be
agree
an
with-
avoidable. If you're going to hold it there, it should just be an
Make sure he
avoidable.
clears Dave, make sure he has room on that shot. Thank you.
Technically, it's an
5,
avoidable.
10 again.
I mean, if you're going to call it over, you have to call it an avoidable because it's really
Second serve.
the reason why you had to stop play. But this is a very clean game so far, besides the multiple hits both of these guys are getting from their
5,
opponents.
10.
Both players are playing the straight up ball here.
Emmett really likes that overhand tomahawk tennis swing. And he's very good at it. Nice powerful left.
Don't forget that he's started playing handball on a 3-wall court, and those overhand
6,
power
10.
shots are really good on outdoor courts.
Short.
He is a very good one-wall player.
I thought that was short, Dave. Do you agree? Did you think that was short?
Short.
It looked in my mind that it was, but not paying
sir.
the best attention here. It's going to be a big setup for Dave Fink. Let's see if he can execute it. And he doesn't.
Point.
He has to be mad at himself for that, Anthony.
Those are the ones he needs, and he needs to make. Like you said, it's rally scoring. So one miss, and Emmett's right back in it.
Now, I predicted fireworks for this match, and we've seen nothing to this point.
Side out.
Now, the only way we would have seen fireworks is if I wouldn't have said anything.
Point.
If I would have said
Great
there
serve.
won't be fireworks, and then something would have happened.
Something would have happened, right?
12.
But that's always how it is.
We're going to 25. It's best 2 out of 3 to 25, in fact. That means that the tiebreakers also played to 25, and it is rally scoring. So if Emmett Peixoto gets a side out, he gets a point. So
13,
practically every rally, unless it ends with a hinder or some type of fault, will
Result in a point.
result in a point, and there's a point right there. So you get to see more points on the scoreboard, and
13.
some of the matches are actually a little bit quicker.
Short serve.
I like that style, though, coming in, trying to qualify for these events and seeing how things have changed, I think it's very beneficial. It makes things a lot smoother, makes for the athletes.
It does change the pace, and all of these guys had to kind of refocus, in a terrible shot right there from Dave Fink. They had to refocus their philosophy on handball just a little bit with this rally scoring because it has a different intensity.
Right, because you're playing offense even on defense. So,
I mean, right now it's playing into Dave Fink's head just a little bit here that Emmett's getting closer, and he got a free point when he got that side out. Dave Fink jumps up, but he was not in the way, so that's okay. It's not unavoidable. Right. Emmett's really sharp with his left hand from down there.
Very good choice by Emmett right there to cut the ball off when Dave's in the back court. Good volley.
Now Emmett Peixoto just 2 points away from Dave Fink. Dave asking for a timeout, and that's a smart call here. We're at 4,327 feet above sea level at the Sports Mall in Salt Lake City, Utah, which really does play a difference on you just a bit. Now, you played on these courts, this exact court yesterday. As we look at this replay brought to you by Simple Green, what does the elevation do to your core when you're trying to breathe through one of these 40-shot rallies?
Well, to be honest with you, I felt that my lungs were always full, or I was trying to get the air into me, and I couldn't. I don't know if obviously it's probably the 4,363 feet that we're at or whatever we are, but everyone yesterday that I talked to had the same thing. It wasn't necessarily that they were, upper body fatigue, but it was the legs that really were running out on them, and they just struggling to catch their breath. And as you see there, Dave's really taking some deep breaths trying to catch his breath.
It is very difficult, and I think you kind of nailed it right out of the gate there. It's that you actually feel like your lungs are completely full of air, and you still are grasping for more. It's like, could my lungs be bigger, please? I didn't know I had this problem until I came here. There's a nice shot from Fink, and the crowd likes it too. Fink gets a side out. Now he's up 14-11. Emmett Peixoto, nice run right there from Emmett. Finds himself still down by 3.
Sometimes a timeout is all you need, though, and you saw with Fink.
Wow.
2 quick points.
That erased that nice little lead that Emmett just took. Absolutely. That momentum came back, and that's one of the great things about this rally scoring is that you get that side out, you get a point, and you automatically feel like you did something positive on the scoreboard. So you've got a little bit more positive thinking coming up. Big setup here for Fink, who takes it down. Emmett digs it out. Fink back again, and there's another point for Dave Fink at 16-11.
Great shot with his right hand.
16 serves 11. Short. Second serve.
They're playing close. Oh, good call by Natty there. Playing very close.
Replay, 16-11.
That's because both of the guys are hitting balls into the corners, and if you hit them a little too tough, everything comes out toward the middle of the court. And as you know, if you've been trained, that there's that red carpet that kind of comes out to the middle of the court that you should be standing on at all times. And these guys play traditional style of handball. They're always back in the center of the court. 17 serves 11 here. This is game number 1 of the men's round of 16 between David Fink and Emmett Peixoto. In a handball tournament, I do not believe Fink has ever defeated Emmett.
He hasn't. He has not.
He has done it in practice. And we went on that legendary, and you might remember it when you were a young junior player, Anthony. There's another point for Emmett Peixoto. You're 21 years of age now, 22?
24.
24.
Well, thank you. Do I look younger?
Back when you were about 19, we went on that bike tour. You might recall that we rode from California all the way to New York with Emmett and Dave riding their bikes across the country playing handball. This is one of the stops that they came to in Salt Lake City, where Dave Fink took Emmett to a tiebreaker but lost 11-10. And it was a heated battle with a lot of fireworks right on this court here in front of the fans in Salt Lake City, Utah. And once again, they're experiencing some of that replay from 2008.
Now I have a question. Did they put up the banner along the left wall when they played in that?
No.
Okay, I didn't know if that
It was much worse back then. Without that banner, it's so dark that you can't really.
Oh, it's
You
extremely
have to
dark.
have the banner
Right.
to
I
make
agree
it
with
seem
you.
like it's a.
Legit course.
Yeah.
I agree. It's very difficult. I came here Wednesday, and tried throwing against it, seeing it very difficult. So
Should see what it looks like without it. The banner. Unplayable. Nice dig right there from Fink. Emmett overhand tomahawk. They clips the
Great
corner.
shot.
Fink is able to touch it but not get it back to the front wall. You're watching the WPH Simple Green Race for 8 live. Number 6, Salt Lake City Aces and Ace Disposal, as well as Ace Outdoor and Dewey Bail Bonds, all sponsoring this shindig this weekend.
Second serve.
We appreciate their patronage. Utah Handball Association, Zions, Mintech, Tucson Rolling Shutters, and the World Players of Handball, to name just a few. We watch Fink and Emmett go up top. Emmett can play this up top game about as good as anybody out there. Let's see who the first one is to break here.
she's a back wall setup.
Fink went for it and misses it. Point for Emmett Peixoto. Now at
13, serving 18.
3-8, as we say in practice.
Yep.
Don't know why
it's
we
easier.
don't know why we don't call that here on
Inside out.
the live broadcast. You play like you practice, Anthony. You play
Yeah,
like
but
you
it's
practice.
confusion. We're
Okay.
trying to give
All right.
people a
Short.
you know, the
Second serve.
Exact.
what would it be? Yeah, the exact.
They don't want to know what 3 and 9. What does that mean? My scoreboard says 13 and 19. I'm just going off the "you play like you practice" mantra.
I wish it was that easy, you know.
If that was that easy, you can come into the broadcast booth and wear spandex.
Maybe. Oh,
Well, you are from the upper Midwest, so
Right.
there's spandex are on sale at gas stations there.
It's out.
that's very true.
Emmett calling for a towel,
Speedos.
and that's going to be a point for Dave Fink, bringing it to, I believe, 20-13. Emmett was unable to get that ball to the front wall. Dave Fink now 5 points away from taking down the rock here in game number 1. We appreciate the fact that you have tuned into this live broadcast as we give it to you all day long today and then Saturday. Saturday will be kind of a special day as we have the semifinals in the morning, followed by a couple women's pro divisions, and then there's going to be a special Hall of Fame induction. Billy Gertz, who was a long-time Utah handball player and supporter, will be named into the Utah Handball Association Hall of Fame, and we're going to do that live on the webcast.
Very cool.
Point.
That's another point
Nice
for
shot
Fink,
by
who
Dave.
just looks more sharp than Emmett does this morning.
I agree with you, Dave.
21, serving 13.
And we've not seen nor heard
Great
either of
game.
these players say one word. Not on microphone yet.
Good volley.
This is the point of the
14,
match
serving
where we have
21.
seen some big meltdowns from Fink,
Oh.
where he's leading and he's only 4 points away. Maybe ahead by 7, maybe 9 or 10. We've seen him lose that lead. Let's see if it's a different Fink today, which I believe it is. If he can come
I
back
hope so.
and keep this
22,
lead and keep
serving
moving on. You can see
14.
he's completely focused in such a different way. I spoke to him this morning as I drove him to the hotel.
And how do you say he was feeling? Pretty good.
Hold it.
No, he just did not want to talk at all.
So he's very mentally focused, which
Yeah,
is very
he
good.
wasn't jovial,
Replay,
I should say, and
22-14.
you can tell.
Absolutely.
I decided to do the opposite of what I normally do. I did not try to get into his head. I just wished him luck, try to keep positive with him.
Point.
Nice little fluid shot right there from Emmett.
Emmett was trying to get in his head. We went out to dinner Wednesday night and yesterday night, and that's all Emmett was trying to do was, oh yeah, I'm going to beat you, Dave. I'm not worried, and talking all this, telling him how bad he is at golf and this and that. So trying to get in his head, but it's not working. So
Well, they're both veteran handball players, and a miss shot right there from Dave Fink, and a point now for Emmett Peixoto. Another one, I should say.
16, serves 22.
It's 16 to 22.
Emmett really has to stay aggressive here because of that rally scoring. Any mishap, and Fink's 1 point away from winning this first game. So
I like that shot from Fink, and then Emmett goes for that overhand tomahawk, doesn't work.
Maybe
Fink,
too aggressive.
Fink actually has 23,
Timeout.
not
Second
24.
timeout, Dave Fink, 1 minute.
We had the scoreboard wrong to begin with. Dave Fink had 22. He comes in with 23 now on that side out. So he's 2 points away from winning this first game, game number 1. You're watching the WPH Simple Green Race for 8 live in Salt Lake City, Utah. Actually, I looked it up on my GPS. We're in a little city called Murray, Utah, which is just a couple blocks away from Salt Lake City. It's a beautiful
Beautiful
place.
downtown. Yep, very beautiful.
It's very nice here in Salt Lake City. It's a gorgeous place where just beautiful people, very friendly atmosphere, and the surroundings are unbelievable as we have the Rocky Mountains in the backdrop. I noticed at the hotel that they had the ski lift information, and I saw at least 20 different ski parks surrounding this area here, and I thought, wow, that's unbelievable. That's why it's such a huge tourist attraction in the summertime, the wintertime, and then summer, of course, is great for mountain biking and hiking and
Serving 16.
outdoor activities like camping and fishing. Right on that Colorado border, and just a few miles north is Idaho.
Second serve.
Not too far from Montana, Arizona. Now that you know our GPS coordinates,
Yep.
we're back to the handball.
Yes, and thank you for that.
Yeah. Davipedia is trying to help you out here.
Always a pleasure.
Emmett's got a very good left hand. Oh, you see some tentativeness right there with his right
Very
shoulder, and
tentative.
Dave Fink just puts it away in the corner. And now Dave Fink gained point. The only way that Emmett could defeat him is
Game point, serving 16.
Going on a tear.
Short serve.
that's a good call from the ref. Yeah, Emmett's going to have to get the side out, but he's going to have to stay in that server's box all the way to 24.
Second serve.
Very difficult.
So it's going to have to be 7 straight points if Emmett can get this side out. And there
Wow,
it is. Dave
there it
Fink
is.
takes game number 1,
5, 3
25 to 16. Game 1 going to David Fink, 25 to 16, defeating Emmett Peixoto. There will be 3 minutes on the clock. Referee will hit 3 minutes on the stopwatch, and we'll be back in about 2 of those as we will have another amazing coverage of this Race for 8 handball pro stop in Salt Lake City right around the corner. Give us a couple minutes and we'll be back. For Anthony Celesto, my name is Dave Vincent. Stay here at racefor8.com.
Dave Vincent. No, I'm going to give him like another couple of minutes. He's got to tape his hand. It's an equipment timeout. We'll call it a referee's timeout right now. 3. Normally 3. He's hurrying though. He's not diddly daddling around. We got a referee's timeout. Back in the court, though. Where's Emmett? Where's Emmett? Oh. Back in the court, please. Emmett. All right.
Is this on webcast? Is this on the webcast? Yeah.
All right, David will be serving. Sorry, Emmett will be serving.
Okay. And we are back live in Salt Lake City, Utah for game number 2 as Emmett Peixoto loses the first one versus Dave Fink, 25-16.
Dave, did you see anything that you think Emmett needs to do differently against, besides make more shots and not?
That right there. Those
Very
two
nice.
wall passes on that glass will be very difficult. Emmett walks over and helps Dave Fink up. Dave hit the ground pretty hard right there, but
Good
I
sportsman.
noticed that Emmett made a lot of hand errors in that first game. Almost seems like he was a little slow getting out of the box, so maybe having more of a command of the court. When he's up front and dictating, he wins most of the rallies. So if I were in his camp and giving him some advice, which he already knows, he needs to be up front and he needs to push.
1-0.
When Emmett does that, he's very hard to beat no matter who his opponent is. See, Dave just
Great
two-wall
pass.
past him, and that's what
Beautiful.
Emmett had Dave in the back court, and he decided to go up front with a 2-foot-high shot that clipped the corner. He needs to make that about 6 inches high and clip the corner. See what Dave Fink does with that left-handed stiletto into the right corner?
Stiletto. It's a good use of word.
2, serving 1.
Here should be a setup for Emmett. Puts it back in the middle of the court.
Side out.
Dave being the aggressor there and just missing by a 1/4 inch.
2, serving 2.
Another great 2-wall pass, but Emmett's able to retrieve it.
Point.
Tough shot.
Now we're
3-2.
looking at the scoreboard here where Fink is up by 1, but Emmett certainly is playing a little different than he did in the first game. Fink has that set up. You have to admit, though, Dave Fink's corner kills and his aggressive play like that right there has absolutely been remarkable.
Absolutely.
I don't know why these guys are slipping on this floor so much.
The court does get
It does.
is very, very humid in there, it seems like, but I don't know.
And it's strange because we're in the interior of this club with no, the one side wall is glass and the
Right.
other side wall is
Panel.
yeah, it's very strange that there is that type of condensation on the floor. It's not raining outside yet. but
Yeah, are they calling for it?
No.
4, serves 2.
It does rain here, though. 4 serves 2. This is game number 2 as Dave Fink took down Emmett in the first one. That is a short ball. Also could have been screened. Dave took down Emmett 25-16 in game number 1. It's the first time I've ever seen these two face off and not have any fireworks. They're helping each other up off the floor and cleaning up each other's condensation. And
Well played. Thank you.
I believe that Emmett said that that was 2 bounces before Dave hit it.
Very good shot. Oh,
There's the floor up there, Dave.
Dave's going to ask for a towel. A veteran would, but he doesn't.
he wants to stay aggressive. He doesn't think he doesn't want the break.
2.
That could have been
Great
called
serve.
short.
You thought so?
No, I said it could have been.
Oh, could have been.
I did think it was. See both of these players breathing with their mouth open here. There hasn't been a lot of long rallies, but they've been intense enough, and that's going to be played over.
Wow.
I'll replay that.
It's a good call.
I'll replay that.
Let's see how Dave controlled himself here.
Very
Uh-oh,
mentally
he's
focused.
actually going to come out and talk to the referee here. Let's watch what happens.
Yeah.
This is what we
Yeah.
expected to see.
Well, you know, you had a free shot, clear shot. Yeah, you had a good shot, but the ball wasn't down. The ball wasn't down. Okay. Okay. Well, he had a shot at that play, so I'm going to play that at Handball. All right, I'll make sure to keep an eye on that, Dave.
Very well handled by Natty.
It was very well handled by Fink, who actually asked for
gonna
permission to
replay
come out and talk to the
3-5.
referee. The new rule is if you step out without asking for permission, it's an automatic
Short.
technical. That is a short ball called late, but it
You
was
may
short.
appeal. Call stand.
It was a good call by 2 inches.
Is that a new rule implemented as of yesterday? Because I don't know. Andy Nett walked out of the court
Yeah,
a
there
couple
was a
times.
couple. I
and
know
that
Chip
was-
Morales did as well. The referee didn't enforce it. Maybe the referee and the players had, you know, they talk before the match starts, and some referees are able to say if you want to take a timeout, go ahead and, I can't hear you because you're inside of a cube, so you
Right.
can come out and call timeout. Sometimes the players come out and say time, and the referee's conversing with the crowd, telling them what the score is, doesn't actually hear it. So what we're trying to program the players to do is to get the confirmation from the referee, because there's oftentimes referee doesn't hit the stopwatch because he doesn't know what they're doing.
Right.
They're walking down the hallway. It's like, hey, where'd the player go? I don't know to call this a injury timeout, a timeout. He forfeited. We don't know what's going on.
Right.
Are you trying to get the American Idol results from last night on Fox.com? I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's a good possibility.
You're tweeting. It was a good, great get. Shot from Dave Fink that Emmett just dug out.
Great. Wow. I was
Well,
gonna
Emmett's
say
a good
great
artist.
Two-wall
Just-
pass, but very nice volley by those two.
You can see these guys are lung capacity certainly starting to burn just a little bit at this altitude.
You hear Emmett in there kind of bumming at himself for missing those shots that he normally makes, but when the pressure's on, Dave, it's a whole nother game. Seven plays 5.
7 serves 5.
Dave is playing really relaxed right now, and oof, he's going for his shots, but unfortunately that came up short.
6 serving 7.
I think Emmett's only had a lead one time in this whole match, and that was early on when he was up 2-1 in this second game after Fink won the first one.
Putting Dave in the backcourt and letting Emmett play up front is not what Dave wants to happen. Great fist. Awkward shot. Great volley.
And the crowd really likes it too.
Those long volleys really take the wind out of you. And you see right there with Fink leaning up against the wall as he's wiping the floor. Both players physically exhausted right now.
You're watching the WPH Simple Green Race for 8 live here in Salt Lake City, Utah. This is game number 2. It was Dave Fink taking down Emmett Peixoto in game number 1, 25-16, and now Emmett showing us a little bit more life here in the early part of game number 2. This is rally scoring.
Timeout, Dave Fink, first one of game 2.
Smart timeout.
Very smart.
Call right there from Dave Fink, who allows for that 45-second towel wipe down before he calls for that timeout. The referees allow that to happen because you have to make sure that the players are safe. Now, Dave Chapman twisted his knee at the U.S. Open in 2010. That's pretty much starting to end his career because of a wet floor.
That's how it happened.
Against Alan Garner in the finals. And you see Emmett Peixoto here trying to stretch.
Good.
Emmett making his way back into the court.
25 seconds.
Referee has a stopwatch, so he's able to rally these players back in, round them up, just like cattle.
Do you know how many times they've played, Dave and
Yeah, it's,
Emmett? Or
well, yeah, they've.
In terms of tournament-wise, or
No,
not sure.
I don't have that
We got Emmett
stat,
serving 8, serving 7.
but Dave Fink will.
Short.
It's very true. He will.
Second serve. Hold it.
Good call.
Replay. Sorry. I can't.
I don't know what Dave is complaining about. That was
Replay 8-7.
an obvious hinder. Emmett was right behind him, and the ball was right there. And Dave was complaining about a short ball and then a hinder.
Side out.
I don't.
He did say the word short, didn't he?
I don't know. Yeah. Confused myself.
8-8. Short serve. Second serve. Side out.
Nothing too serious. Just a nice little volley.
9-8.
Sometimes it's more easy just to sit back and let the play develop as opposed to talk over
Point.
every single shot. You can kind of see at home what's going on
10,
here.
serving 8.
Dave Fink gets the side out. It'll be 9-10. See that Emmett's standing more in the front court now than he did in the first game. Because of that, he's able to put a little bit more direction and also zip on the ball. The closer you're to the front wall, the harder you hit it. I mean, think about it. You're hitting balls from 38 feet back at 80 miles an hour. They come off the front wall. When it gets to you at maybe 50.
Right.
If you're standing 20 feet away hitting at 80 miles an hour, it comes back at 65, 75.
A little bit quicker.
And these guys are having to feel the difference. And so standing up front does pay dividends if you want to work on those two-wall passes, pass shots. Even the wraparounds are a little bit more tight.
Emmett slowly pulling away here. I don't know if Dave's been getting a little bit more fatigued, and that's why he burned that last time out to try to regroup himself, but Emmett's taking advantage of it.
Emmett's on a nice little run here. If it does go breaker, we play to 25 points. Oh, there's a crack right there and a free point.
You hear Emmett and Dave talking a little bit in the court.
Short serve.
See,
Referee
now
called a short
they
serve.
can't hear the ball. They can't hear the ref, so
Short serve. He wants to appeal. Both agree. Call stands. One serve recovered.
I give Dave a lot of credit. He's handling himself pretty well
Yeah,
right now.
it's difficult for the players to hear the referee
Oh, right,
in there.
absolutely.
And we heard it because it's all mic'd up for us. But they're inside of a cube, and they could just kind of hear a sound.
Muffle. Right, in a muffle.
The courts are wired, but for some reason, it's just doesn't come out right. Sort of like ordering at Sonic. Not like I've ever done that.
You're right. A lot of towel timeouts.
39. Point.
Dave Fink being pressured there.
15-39.
Emmett Peixoto starting to walk here. 6-point lead. And Emmett yelling at his hand.
Glove change? He wants a glove change.
Let me see your gloves on it.
They're fine.
They're okay. They're okay.
Anything to try to get a break.
10, 30, 15.
You see Dave really breathing through his mouth here. Dave has 10, Emmett has 15. Here's a setup for Dave. He's going to go with that two-wall pass. Emmett can track those down. This is where Emmett's strong, very strong with that left hand right there, Anthony.
Very, very
You
strong.
can learn a lot from his footwork with that left hand. He tops over the ball. That keeps the ball down.
15, 30, 10.
And also slides down the wall as opposed to hopping into it.
One shot I'm absolutely impressed right there. That shot, he shoots it straight from the left side, shoots it. Always such a beautiful shot by Emmett.
Well, he goes over the top of that ball, and when you do that, the ball just cuts.
15, 30, 10.
Dave Fink brought up something interesting the other day when he said that all of the top players,
Second serve.
their natural is a reverse.
Right.
And if you think about Alan Garner, Sean Lenning, Luis Moreno, Nadi Alvarado, Emmett Peixoto's left hand
Point.
goes over the top of the ball, which is unorthodox for us
18, 30, 10.
former baseball players that came in and
Agreed.
trying to play handball. We didn't know about that over the top shot that Nadi Sr. seemed to perfect. Emmett just hit that ball directly into the ground. Dave Fink now at 11-18.
And he actually changed his positioning there. All the other times he would take that with his left, let it come off the wall and position himself to take it with his left, shoot the right corner. Instead, he tried to take it with his right and
11, 7, 18.
pull it back left and skipped it.
Short serve. Second serve. Side out.
Lot of hand airs by Dave right now. Uncommon of him.
19 serves 11. Short serve. Second serve.
It's a very effective serve. It's not doing anything too serious, but he's not getting an offensive return on it, which is giving Emmett the opportunity for a setup. Not that one, but
Here's a
The
huge
lob
setup.
down
Emmett
the right.
turns left-handed with this. Don't see a lot of players doing that. Emmett is basically trying to. Ooh, that's going to be called, and this is going to be some
And
fireworks
Fink's gonna-
here. He's trying to keep under control, but this is going to be another visit outside.
timeout by Fink.
Okay. Okay. Ball is up. Okay. We're not going to agree on this. You better get back on it.
I like how Nadi's handling this. He said, we're not going to agree on this, so you need to get back on the court. Let's watch what Dave Fink is saying. I don't believe this ball was.
I'm not going to talk about this.
Gettable? I agree with you.
I don't know where the hinder is, though.
Behavior of the player.
I
He
didn't
never
see-
backed in. He never backed up into him. I agree with you. I really didn't see it either.
I didn't see the hesitation or how Dave was in his way.
30 seconds.
I don't think it was a
Yeah,
terrible call. I just don't
agree.
think it was a good one. But there has been some really good calls so far that we've seen from Nadi Alvarado, who's, you know, a good referee
Absolutely.
from what I've witnessed.
Very well qualified.
I appreciate Linda giving us that
TV time.
TMZ angle,
TMZ angle, I like
giving
that.
us that TMZ snapshot of the broadcast booth there.
20 serves 11. Point.
Now, do you think that call has played a little effect in Dave? Get into his head a little bit?
No,
or-
I think what I think Dave knows that, and he's done the math and watched some of these events here so far as we have done the majority of all of the rally scoring broadcasts. I think Dave knows that it's virtually about a 90% chance that he will not win this, if not 95%, because of the score. He realizes that he doesn't have that Sean Linning, Luis Moreno, I can score 8 points at any given second serve.
Correct.
That he needs to really get his points in 2-point bunches and then side outs, and he realizes that if I get 2 here and he gets a side out, he's at 22. I get 2, I'm at 14, he's at 23. And
so it's gonna be
the best I can do is about 17, unless I get hot with some type of serve that I don't have right now. So I think Dave's sometimes too smart for himself. I'm not saying he's given up, though. And I certainly don't know if that's what's going through his mind, but I have heard him say multiple times on the broadcast that statistically it's almost impossible here for someone to be down 12 to 21. And we also have a all but one match in rally scoring where the first person to score 21 has won every single one of those matches.
Right, yeah, like you said, it's very difficult.
And we can say the first person to 22 has won every single one. Right now, Emmett has 21. Dave Fink is trailing. You're watching the WPH Simple Green Race for 8 live in Utah. We're in Murray, Utah for the race stop number 6, where 7 of these stops are like qualifiers. We're trying to qualify the best 8 players in 7 stops. And we do that by giving points at each of the 7 stops. And when you gather those points, you then have a chance to play at TPC, the Players' Championship at the WAC in Seattle, Washington. TPC at WAC will be in May of 2012, and it is already going to be an amazing event, as the top 8 players will have an upper bracket round robin versus the bottom bracket round robin. Now, we can pretty much say that the top 4 players of Luis Moreno and Sean Linney, Nadia Alvarado, Charlie Shanks, Alan Garner, probably pretty secure.
Well, that was 5, but
okay,
the top,
I threw in Alan Garner
like
at the
that
end
though.
there.
That's a nice.
The next few are not so sure.
Ooh,
I thought that was 2 bounces.
I agree, that was 2 bounces.
No, I'm not calling that that was a reverse. Pretty good shot.
It's a very good call.
I'd like to see what Emmett's saying right
Me
here.
too.
Emmett's saying he couldn't see it, and he wasn't sure if it was 2 bounces. It was,
Well,
by the way.
Agreed.
But if he's saying that he can't see it, and he actually got his hand on it, how could you not call this a screen?
Well,
I mean, it's a good argument.
Yeah, but to me it looked like it almost cracked out. Ooh, it caught that right wall and cracked out.
But what he's saying is I couldn't see the ball because
Yeah,
you have to
'cause
imagine the ball's
he
in
was
front.
coming like this.
I mean, he was out of position, but still unable to see it.
It's a tough call either way, and I don't think he's really going to complain about it because he's up.
It would have been an
So-
amazing get nonetheless. 15 to 21 here. Now Dave Fink is really making Emmett go all out here.
They resume 16-21. Thank you.
Great.
Point.
Very nice call by Emmett, 2 bounce.
17 serving 21.
Emmett is pushing Dave Fink around the court here more than he did in the first game, and there's another point for
Emmett.
Emmett.
And you saw exactly what we were talking about earlier, getting Dave in the back court and Emmett staying up front and shooting the ball.
Emmett stayed in the backcourt for the first game almost exclusively. Now we're seeing a shift here.
And a replay, 22-17. Short serve.
It's a good call.
Good call.
A little late. I wish the Naughty would call that when it takes place, because these players are extending themselves. And this altitude's tough. And I'm just saying from the player standpoint, I'd want to have more quicker calls, not the lazier.
Right,
call.
Emmett put his hand up like he wanted contact.
Thank you.
Very good sportsmanship there because Some players would have taken that point and been like, hey.
Well, that wasn't. Dave Fink skipped that in. That's
No, but
why Dave looked back.
Emmett put his hand up because he wanted contact before Dave took the shot. So.
That's smart there. Dave is really peppering that right wall, and Emmett's been sliding into that same spot. They should just leave a towel over there.
In the court?
In the court.
Yeah,
no, let's actually put it in
the box.
The box. Nadia Alvarado has it right. He keeps it right on his shorts.
I think that might be for his glasses.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay.
You're listening to the voice of Anthony Celesto from Wisconsin.
Serving 22, serving 17.
And yours truly, Dave Vincent. Also, the referee, Nadia Alvarado.
Beautiful Dave
And from
Vincent.
time to time, also David Fink.
Yeah,
who
absolutely.
steps out and makes sure that we all hear everything he says.
Dave, referring back to what you said about you wish the refs would call that short serve sooner. And actually yesterday, I don't know if it was the position we're in, and he's in the same spot I was today. But when you're the player, the retriever, will almost cross your vision, so it's kind of tough for you to see exactly where that ball, if it was short or if it wasn't. So that's.
But you do eventually call it, so you had to have
right.
known sometime.
Oh, right, absolutely. But it's.
You have to almost gather and wonder
if it was short, and you take the chance, I guess. I don't know if it's the right call to say, but.
And there it is. Emmett Peixoto takes game number 2, 25-17. We're going to take a quick break. We'll have game number 3 coming up right around the corner in Salt Lake City here at the Sports Mall.
You see Emmett pumping up the crowd a little bit.
Dave Fink takes game number 1, 25-16. Emmett comes back and takes number 2, 25-17. And now we'll have, in 3 minutes, game number 3. Stick around. More action right around the corner at racefor8.com. And we are back live in Salt Lake City, Utah for game number 3, the explosive firework-ridded tiebreaker here between Dave Fink and Emmett Peixoto. That means that I thought that
Doesn't Emmett serve first?
he should have, but Naughty said that Dave Fink beat him by 1 point. It was the other way around. So we have the wrong guy serving. Nonetheless, Emmett Peixoto now gets
the first point.
1-0.
I really thought Emmett would have walked into the box there. A nice little backhanded dig right there from Emmett Peixoto, but Dave is lethal from there. In the first game, he would have made that shot, and for some reason, second game, he was unable to get those, powering it right back to Emmett's feet.
2-0.
Now you can see where a player can start tightening up. I'm not saying Fink is, but you start missing here, and you can see that pace that Emmett is on. That is a good call from the referee. Emmett, you can see, has more of a different approach here.
Keep the pressure on. He knows he got that second one. Momentum is in his favor, so keep it going.
Ooh, nice. Backs Emmett into the corner, gets a point.
Yep.
1-3. Smart play right there. You can hear some rumblings in the crowd, too. The top players certainly, I think, appreciate some of the gamesmanship and little tricks that they learn by watching the pros. That ball just barely making the front wall. Fink going down the right again. Watch what this does. Hello.
Hey. Fink must have scored, or maybe not.
No, he did score.
He did.
And you and I are looking amazing.
Thank
I
you. You're
noticed
such a handsome
right
guy.
when Dave Fink scored, we were able to take a quick look at ourselves here.
Yes. 2-3.
There's some
Playing
contact.
very close.
Referee letting them play through it. Most of the pro players can adjust through that. Some of the ones that are
Great shot. You see Dave Fink do the follow through like he's almost bowling.
well, he's wondering why that ball didn't make it in. And you can see that Emmett's the one that was actually upset. There's some great serves that Emmett has been placing onto Dave Fink's left hand here. That's where Emmett is strong.
Yep.
It's going to be a setup for Emmett, taking it with his right hand, and he puts that ball away. Now you see Emmett playing pretty good ball right now.
Very
Anthony, it's
impressive.
all set up with a serve to the left.
Yep. They say if you can get a great serve and a weak return, that's half the battle, especially when you like to play up front like Emmett. See Emmett punching the wall there, knowing he missed a very easy shot in his eyes, I'm guessing.
3-5.
Almost a screen. Unorthodox scoop right there from Emmett Peixoto. And Dave tries to go for that corner kill, and he has that bowling
Follow through.
follow through. Little English, kicking his left leg out,
Yeah.
trying to work it in.
That was questionable. But gotta believe the ref, so
I always believe the referee.
at least most of the time,
Well, they're the only one that counts, really.
right?
You can disbelieve in them, but it's not going to get you too far because they're the one that has the pin and the scorecard. Nice get right there from
Oh,
Emmett.
and he calls 2 bounces. Great call.
So it was not a nice get then, is
No,
what
it
you're saying.
wasn't, right,
No,
yeah.
it was not a nice get.
No, it wasn't. Good effort.
4-7 is the score here. It is the tiebreaker. It's a game played to 25, but there is rally scoring. Fink only 3 points behind here after being dominated by Emmett Peixoto on that left side wall in game number 2. Dave Fink walking slowly in and out of the box.
4-7.
Dave Fink represents the Salt Lake City, excuse me, the Seattle Wax, and Emmett representing Salt Lake City Aces. That's close.
Emmett looked for-
Dave Fink did push himself into that position.
You saw Emmett turn around and look at Natty like he
Well,
wanted
I would say
something
that's about as
close
close
you
as you're
can
going to get. See how Emmett gives Dave some room there? That's a good
Oh,
call.
it's a great call.
That was a great call
Good-
from
yeah,
Noddy.
Agreed.
What Emmett didn't see was the fact that Dave
Dave was
went
right
to the
behind.
right to look to see where the ball was and then had to come to the left and still was able.
I don't think we can. Tennis we do. We can't play tennis in Salt Lake right now. Well, we could if it was indoors. Yeah.
The referees actually agree with, or I should say the broadcast booth agrees with the referee.
Yeah.
So Emmett was asking for a booth review, and if we did review that, we would agree to it. And that's a free point there for Emmett as he gets the side out.
And I'm curious why Dave is continuing to serve to Emmett's stronger hand. Yeah.
That ball sounds like it's broken. We're hearing the court sound so good that every ball has that splat sound.
Sometimes, even yesterday playing in this court, though, some spots on the front wall seem a little bit more dead than the others.
For some reason, Dave Fink's missing that shot with his left hand in that left corner. And that's the third one in a row we've seen.
And that's his, cream of the crop, if you want to call it.
This is where Emmett's dangerous. Dave put it in the right spot, though. You see Dave is playing a little bit more aggressive, that three-wall style. Ooh.
Uncommon air.
10, serves 5.
Emmett slowly pulling away.
And a point for Dave Fink. Now it's 6-10.
Timeout, first timeout.
And he's calling a timeout, and he's just a couple good serves away from bringing this one close. Now we're going to 25 points. It's not over with here, and he's certainly not giving up. We appreciate the fact that you've tuned in to the live broadcast at racefor8.com. There's young Sam, who is a handball player already, running by the handball courts here. And yes, we were talking about this earlier about the altitude, Anthony. It is really tough here in Salt Lake City, and it's not, as bad as those players that have to play up in Denver, Colorado. But for those that have just tuned in, what does it feel like to be on the court to have to go through a 30-shot rally, for example, after you've already played 30, 45 minutes of action?
They should have an oxygen tank outside the court for you. Your lungs feel like they're full of air, and you're gasping for air constantly, and it's just it's a whole nother.
Well, I feel that way when I'm peeling an orange.
No.
I'm talking about pure elevation. Actually, to tell you the truth, I grew up. I grew up in high elevation. Linda, back in the van, please put the scoreboard up so we can see, because it's accurate, and they're having a problem with the score. Yeah, it's 6-10.
I don't know if we can go to replay.
It's 6-10.
Go tell. Anthony's going to go over and tell. It's 6-10.
6-10, thank you. We've been overruled by the camera. 6-10.
I want to thank you for doing that. But I was going to tell you, I grew up playing handball in 4,500 feet, which is a little bit higher than Salt Lake City, and never thought about it. Never felt that it was a bad thing. I would go down to the lower elevations and feel like I had great lung capacity, and people would come and play at our tournaments that were unable to run after about 20 minutes. And I couldn't understand it. I thought I was better than everybody at home, but I couldn't beat anybody on the road.
Aren't you just a human specimen, though?
No, yeah.
I'm sorry.
No.
Oh, okay.
I just felt like, yay, these are my home courts, and I can beat everybody that comes into town. But in reality, it was the elevation as my silent sixth man off the bench.
I was going to say, that's like your hidden secret.
Second serve. Side out.
Emmett really trying to be the aggressor and keep Dave in the backcourt.
Point.
2 quick points by Fink.
Well, he almost got chipped out of a point at the beginning of this run. Luckily for us, we are sitting here with the scoreboard, and I want to thank Linda for helping this out because referee forgot to make the mark on the scorecard. There's just a terrible play off that back ball. Now, Dave said before this tournament started that it's impossible to see a ball in that back left corner.
It's very it's very dark, and that's a big problem. Oh, nice get.
Smart play right there from Dave Fink, and Emmett's asking for a towel from the towel boy. First game went to David Fink, 21-16, and the second one to Emmett Peixoto, 21-17. And then for some reason, the referee said that
the scores were reversed.
The scores were reversed, and Emmett got the first serve, or I should say Fink got the first serve in the tiebreaker.
However, Emmett was the first to score.
So it all evened out.
Yeah, if you look at it like that.
I was trying not to.
All right, resuming
Me
play.
too.
9 serving 12.
It's a good old fake out.
Wow, that ball just jumped out. And you know, sometimes when it hits that right corner first before hitting the front wall, it actually seems to pick up speed.
10 serving
Don't know
12.
exactly what creates that, but I think it's as the ball rolls out of your hand. If it comes out of your palm, I should say from the palm to the tip of your fingers, it'll actually jot out. Some players actually hit it the other way, so it actually catches up a little bit.
Point.
Good concentration by Fink there.
Although there's some kid in Berkeley right now who just shook his head when I made that explanation. As Dave Fink dribbles that ball off his foot.
11 serving 12.
Dave Fink 1 point away now. Could make it 2 points.
Hold it, hold it. It's just a replay. You guys got jammed up, nothing else.
Good call from
Good
the
call by
referee.
yep, very good call.
Replay 11-12.
When they're playing that close, it's really, I think it's tough to call an avoidable, especially at that point.
That was a great serve from Dave Fink right there, who just looked like he was going to the left. He pushed it to the right. Emmett went the wrong way and then was unable to get the ball back and scores a point. Now we're all together at 12 as Emmett was up by 6 points earlier here in the tiebreaker, played to 25. And you can see that the handball players are making their way down to the courts, getting ready for all of the action here courtside in Salt Lake City at the Sports Mall, where we're having the WPH Simple Green Race for 8. Brought to you live by Mintech out of Tucson, Arizona. Tucson Rolling Shutters, locally owned, nationally known at TucsonRollingShutters.com. Zions, the official sports drink of the UFC and the official sports drink of the WPH now. Met with them in Vegas about 6 days ago. They love what we're
How was
doing
that?
and they love
Good.
handball, and they're not associated to the sport. They're not handball players.
Right.
So it's
Which is
really
rare.
good that you bring in sponsors from the outside world in finally recognizing the value of this sport. Altogether at 12.
Another great serve.
Point.
Emmett might just want to stay over there.
Serve. Both agree.
Oh, good
Point.
serve, yes.
13 serving 12.
Another good serve.
Keeps going back to it. Set up. Trying to push him deep.
Oh, look at that get
Look at
right
these
there from
kids.
Fink. Did the referee yell something?
I don't know.
This is an amazing rally right here. Dave Fink's first one to go down. He's getting that ball back. Emmett's going to have to take it around the revolving door, about 3 revolving doors. And Fink
Wow.
goes for the overhand and gets it.
Very impressive.
When I say overhand, he went over the top of that ball with his hand, hits it down into the corner, and I don't know if this is going to be a timeout, but it's well deserved. We're going to have to call for at least a towel on this.
That was impressive. Everybody, both players diving, getting the balls, and
Now this is the one for the replay books. Dave Fink going to that corner. Emmett pushes it up front. When I said 3 revolving doors, look at Emmett had to contend with that corner. Then Dave does that stiletto in the left corner, and you can see what this elevation is doing to these players. That was an amazing shot from Dave Fink. If we can go back on a replay earlier than that, though, Linda, and go back to those gets that took place about 10 shots earlier than where you started that clip. That's where the fireworks took place. There were 3,
Beautiful.
4 dives in a row, practically.
Andy Net-esque. I like to say Andy Nett is a very good diver getter, and you see that here with both these players, which is
When Andy Nett turns 55, will he be a golden retriever? Wait, let's watch this. Simple green, instant replay. There's that first dive. That's one. There's two. There's three in a row. Fink pushes it back, and that's where the beginning of that other replay took place as we go back into the action at 13-12 here.
And there's
another great serve. Emmett's hitting the floor on that one as well. Dave Fink back in that same position, and he puts it down again. Emmett once again back on the floor and asking for the towel is Dave Fink, which is a smart move.
You saw Emmett get up kind of exhausted there. He's really working his butt off.
This is some really good handball right here.
This is what you
Anthony.
pay to see. This is what you pay to see.
I paid a lot of money for this.
Mm-hmm.
They just took a timeout, and now they're going right back into the towel. So every one of these rallies is taking much longer. And one of the reasons why we've gone to rally scoring, because some of these matches will go 2.5 hours if you don't. It's like the Super Bowl was less than that.
Sometimes they even do now, but like you said, it depends on the rallies and what goes on during the match and stuff. So
Well, if they're doing it now, the scores are close.
right.
So long is better.
Yeah.
That's all you need to say.
Yep.
Look at these rallies here.
Oh, nice get.
Emmett has to be tired from this running. And then
Oh.
Dave Fink misses the back wall setup, and he's exhausted right now. I believe there might be another.
Towel. Oh yeah, you look at Dave.
Look at Dave Fink huff and puff. There's no way he could blow your house down right now.
Oh, he's not the big bad wolf.
Well, if he is,
Okay.
here at elevation,
He loses that.
he loses a little bit of the huff.
Mm-hmm.
But Peixoto gets a point for that side out now at 13-14.
13, serving 15.
Oh, 13-15,
15.
excuse me. I agree that. I believe that's right.
Second serve.
You have to say that a lot of that
Be a setup.
point scoring from Dave Fink came from that amazing serve that's setting up some rallies, keeping Emmett behind him, and then right there, that gigantic left-handed corner kill.
And it seems to be going for him now.
It
as
wasn't
we were
in
talking
game
about
number
earlier,
2.
right?
Yeah. 16-13.
I don't know what Dave's
15,
complaining
13,
about.
Now it's 16. That you can check if you want, but we've already got it straightened out back here.
Say it's right. It's 16-13.
He's correct.
It's correct. Camera crew's correct.
This is just another means for these players to get extended time here. You have to listen to the referee, and the score that he calls is what it is.
There's setup for Dave, and very
Wow.
nice shot.
And another point now, Dave at 17, and you see Emmett trying to pump himself up.
Said you got to get him out. Get him out of the front
17,
court.
serving 13.
Well, it's hard to do that with these amazing serves.
Absolutely.
Fink has
Right
had
there it
some
is.
of the best serves I've ever seen him hit, and then that right there was a mistake. Now Emmett getting another point, trying to pump himself up. Let's see what Emmett does here.
14, serving 17.
And he keeps going back to his left. I don't know if... Nice get by Dave.
Nice defensive play right there from Fink, who's going to be exhausted after this rally already. Emmett Peixoto still in his 20s. Dave Fink heading toward his mid-30s.
Dave Fink's in incredible shape for 30... How old is he, 32?
No, he's 35 now and
Oh, geez, 35 years old. Yeah, he's in incredible shape.
35 this year. And he's in incredible shape, but you have to keep in mind that at this elevation, it doesn't matter what type of shape you're in. Even look at Emmett, who's a retriever himself, and he is bent over here.
Gasping for air.
Emmett Peixoto walking slowly toward the front court here.
Both players breathing deeply out of their mouth.
Breathe deep, the gathering gloom. Watch lights fade. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were doing a Moody Blues song
No,
from
no,
the
no, no.
late 60s.
Yeah, it was before my time.
Okay.
Probably before yours, too.
18, serving 14.
I wasn't even a glimmer in a young couple's eye at Linda Ronstadt and a Stone Ponies concert back in the late 60s.
Nice get.
Point.
Another great
Pushing him back
rally
to the right.
ender from Dave Fink.
serving 14.
Dave Fink up by 5.
Short serve.
Slowly pulling away.
And if that wasn't short, it would have been
Second serve.
screen. This could be a setup.
It's such a great shot by Emmett after that tough return by Dave. You know, that's the elite players.
There's only a couple players I can tell you right now that can take a ball that's hit about 4 inches high and redirect it to another 4-inch high shot. And Emmett's one of them with his left hand.
15, serving
Paul Brady being the other one. And, of course, Luis Moreno. But we've also seen Nadi Alvarado do it, too. And Sean Lenning can hit any ball 4 inches high from no matter where it's hit. So there's a side out. And
You
now
hear
Dave
Emmett
Fink
yelling.
goes up to 20.
You heard Emmett yelling at himself right there because he knows those are the ones he needs. He's giving away free points.
Another great serve from Dave Fink, who's got Emmett leaning to the left.
4 or 5 of those.
I mean, every single time.
And I don't know if it's we have a different angle, but we see. I don't know if he's dropping the ball a little bit further out left to make it look like he's going there, or what. But he's doing something right.
Well, you see some of these players that have incorporated head fakes into their games, and I'm not saying that Fink is actually head faking, but he's doing something that has made Emmett believe he's going down that left wall. Now, one of those things is he had some successful serves down the left, like this one right there goes behind him. Emmett's unable to get that back. Now, what Dave will do is sneak it down to the left here to let him know that this is
Right.
something you need to focus on. There it is. That's the reason why Emmett's leaning, because I believe that side wall is so devastating.
Oh, it is. Very
Yeah,
devastating.
Dave Fink is just a couple points away here from advancing to the quarterfinals.
Serving 15.
See how aggressive Dave Fink is? Most players wouldn't go for that kill shot from that angle.
Oh, was that good? I don't think it was
Skipped
good.
in.
Oh.
He had it, and it skipped. Dave Fink, if he were to go on, actually, the winner of this one would go on to play Luis Moreno at 3 o'clock.
Well, they'll have their hands full there. Nice gets. Re-kill.
It's a good call.
Good call.
Both of these guys are exhausted, and I don't blame them.
Absolutely.
I'm
This is a
exhausted watching.
great match to watch. Yeah, this is what you ask for when you want to watch handball.
Armando Ortiz and Luis Cordoba will be up next, immediately following this one with about a 5-minute break. It's going to be a big setup for Emmett. Dave Fink jumped up right in front of him.
Emmett looked for it.
Wanted the avoidable.
Tough.
Point.
Uh-oh. Is
He's
he
not.
hurt?
No, he's not hurt. He's
He's
just exhausted. Sometimes you get on the ground after those long rallies
And you don't want to
in a
get up.
tournament, and it feels so good. I mean, it really does.
Oh,
You
I
get
believe
down there,
it.
and it's like, well, I know I'm supposed to get up, but I don't want
Want
to.
to,
It
right.
just this perspective, laying on the floor, looking up at that ceiling so far away, and having all that energy.
Do you think, though, that might play a what am I looking for? The word that I'm looking for. Is it almost beneficial for Emmett? Because you see your player so fatigued, you know, now you might want to try something that, I don't know if you want to be the aggressor and go for the shots, or you want to try passing them, keep them moving, or,
It very well could.
you know, and that's,
I think Emmett would say to himself, he's doing what I wish I could be doing right now, but I'm serving.
Replay 17-23.
possibly
Here's-
a setup.
Good spot that Emmett put that ball into. And then Dave Fink just
Side
pushed that ball away from him, and now Dave Fink at game point here.
And advancing to the
out.
quarters.
Match point, serving 17. Clean ball.
Good call. Still 2 serves. We'll see what Dave's going to try to do here. If I was Dave, I'd try to go for a crack out. Really has nothing to lose.
I thought that was short.
And so did Dave. So did Dave.
We call that short. I just can't see over your head of it, but the gallery thought it was short.
and that's where I'm talking about. I don't know if the ref's sitting or standing, but that's where you crosses the vision of the ref, and it's tough to see whether it's a short ball or not.
He's got like a half serve. Half serve. You have a screen and a short.
Dave Fink didn't understand that
A half
terminology.
serve.
Again, that's old school call. There is a screen and a short, so it's a
There's
half
the
serve,
match.
and Dave Fink advances right there by defeating his longtime nemesis and rival, Emmett the Rock Peixoto. It was a friendly match. Not too much fireworks, but
Absolutely.
certainly great play there in the tiebreaker, and the crowd likes it here courtside in Salt Lake City, Nevada. Excuse me, Utah.
Utah.
It is.
Salt Lake City, Nevada. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It was a
Salt
great
Lake
match, though.
City.
Both players exhausted, physically exhausted. It was a fun match to watch.
Well, every day's Vegas for me.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're going to take a quick break. We will have another one coming up right around the corner. Luis Cordova and Armando Ortiz in their round of 16 matchup coming up next. You stick around for Anthony Celesto, Linda Manning, Ben Garad, our referee Nadia Alvarado, who had a microphone on. My name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in 5 minutes. Stick with us at racefor8.com.